usually there's one guy in the group with you that can't wait to tell the authorities about what you're doing.
Oh, no, we didn't play that. I don't think we had one of them because none of our plans were leaked, because if they were, they would have had us off at the pass anyway. As a matter of fact, they knew what we were going to do, but they didn't believe we were going to go through with it. They know these little hotheads outside in Florida, they're not going to go through with it. They just blowing smoke. Hey, I can't tell you the exact time, but during that pep session, the cheerleaders out there doing their sis boom bye, me and Brother Brown and Brother Patterson, boom, 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 we got up, headed toward the Lewis Street entrance, man. Like, we didn't have what we call them Uncle Toms back then. We didn't have none in that group. If he did, he was real low profile, because to my best recollection, we didn't have stuff leaked out that we didn't want to have leaked out.
Hey, Rubin, let me ask you this. You know, as you all were, let's say, looking at each other, you know, what was going through your mind before you all stood up?
Well, the conversation earlier with Mr. Spooler that morning, he collared us. He said, if y'all do this, you know y'all can't come back to Central. We'd already planned to do it, and we had assurance that we was going to do it. And as a result of that, we didn't realize how many students was going to come along with us. We were thinking a small group, and about 60 people up there.
65 to be exact. No one forget the number. 65 people walked out.
Yeah.
But it was, the number wasn't that significant, but it was. Of those 65 people, maybe 10 was of our group, because we were still small. Like I said, you know, the sisters that we had, Rubin, myself, Joseph Timberlake, Charlie Mead, Charles Van Pelt, Lawrence Wilson, William Patterson, Sue Hassel, Clotilde Walden, Janice McGee, and Beverly Starley. 11 people. So do the math. 11 from 65 is what? 54? 54 people just took it. I really don't know whether they were with us or not, but we included them, because if it was only 3 of us, we made the papers. And they did, oh man, Eric, you had to really be to sense it. What was going through my mind was, we were supposed to do it at a certain time. That time came, and I'm thinking, like, I looked at Rubin, he looked at me. He said, Tubbs, you going? I said, come on, man, we're supposed to go. Are we gonna go or not? All of a sudden, we just stood up. It was no, like he said earlier, Spooler had cornered us and said, you know, if you guys do this, you know, you can't come back to school. Well, guess what? I don't know about him, but I'm sure he did. We had enough credits.
Yeah.
We had enough credits, so regardless of what matter of fact, I was a January graduate anyway. I didn't have to, matter of fact, I graduated in January, so to speak, but I continued to stay in school until June, because I had a little service work. I think I had 1 class, government, and I had a study hall. So the threat oh man, we didn't play no threats. There was the thought that our parents that didn't know what we were about and what we were doing, I don't know whether, I'm only speaking for myself, my mother, she didn't understand what was going on and why we were doing it. But once she got the gist of how things were going, how the administration handled us or handled them after they had took time out to come down to get us back in school, well, that give them an idea of, hey, this is something partially what our children are going through. The administration say what they're going to say, and then they walk out and they're going to they don't get a chance to have their say. So we had a lot of support. We didn't have the support that I think we might have. Oh, Liz Dobin, I can't forget Liz Dobin. She wasn't Barbara in the group.
No, she was.
She was. Oh, okay, it was Liz Dobin. She was one of our adult counselors. Matter of fact, didn't we have a couple of meetings at when she was on the Urban League at one time, wasn't she? Or there was an NAACP.
NAACP.
See, these different groups and organizations. See, back then in the '60s, didn't believe in marching, but White, Reverend Jesse White, once he had something out of came. Like, this is digressing, but it's a part of the revolutionary spirit that it took, and it's gone today. There's nothing to really march about. There's nothing really controversial when you can get into the spirit like we had back in the 60s. I mean, the things that people are so integrated now, it's just, it ain't funny. So everybody's all right, you know, but our youth is knocking each other off at a rate that's incomprehensible in this.
Okay, now I want to come back to that, but Rubin, let me ask you this. You know, with you guys doing that, okay, what came down on you? Something had to come down on you or your families or somebody.
Well, I thought it was really, the threat was humongous.
I mean, nothing happened to your parents or anything?
No. No, we called their bluff. Okay, y'all gonna do it? Do it. We gonna do what we gotta do. And we did it. Yeah. And then we negotiated our way, but we got 3 days.
3 days suspension.
3 days suspension. They told us that we were never gonna let us back at Central and we wouldn't get a degree, diploma. Mm-hmm. You know, the threat was humongous. But, you know, we said, okay, fine.